Good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for being here on such short notice. The purpose of the press conference is to announce the forthcoming arrests of Joseph Barraza and Rachel Pogler. As you already know, Carly Schaaf was reported missing on May 19, 2021. Family and friends of Carly Schaaf indicated that no one had seen or spoken with Carly since May 17th. During this investigation, it was determined that personal items had been left in Carly's home that were unusual for her to leave behind. Due to the suspicious circumstances, an investigation into Carly's disappearance began. I want to extend my gratitude to the media outlets that covered Carly's disappearance initially in an effort to locate her. Early on in this investigation, details emerged to suggest that Joseph Barraza may have been in contact with Carly Schaaf around the time she went missing. This, along with other investigative leads, were further examined. On June 4th, on an unrelated case, a federal search warrant was issued for the address of 830 South 10th Street, number 3. This was the home of Joseph Barraza and Rachel Pogler. The search warrant was served by members of the LPD SWAT team. During the subsequent search of the home, narcotics, a firearm, and additional evidence was seized. In this separate case, both subjects were charged with gun and narcotic violations and have been held in custody since that time. This lengthy investigation has been particularly difficult on Carly's family, and I want to say how grateful I am for their patience, cooperation, and perseverance through this trying time. I'd like to give the family and friends of Carly my heartfelt condolences for their loss. As many of you may know, this cannot be easy for them to hear this information, and moving forward will be even more difficult. I ask the media and the public to respect their privacy, but also support them in this process. Since the first report of Carly's disappearance, investigators conducted numerous interviews, analyzed large amounts of digital and forensic evidence, and pieced together a timeline of events. During this extensive investigation into Carly's disappearance, investigators obtained information that led to a search of the area around Pawnee Lake by Lincoln Police Department and Lancaster County Sheriff's Department personnel. On June 10th, investigators ultimately located what was later confirmed to be the body of 23-year-old Carly Schaaf. On June 11th, an autopsy was performed on Carly Schaaf's body. The pathologist later determined the manner of death to be a homicide. During this investigation, additional evidence revealed that Joseph Barraza had sexually assaulted 3 different women. Carly was found to be one of those victims. Due to the ongoing investigation, we cannot provide further comment or details of victim information. Joseph Barraza will be charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault. Rachel Pogler is charged with kidnapping and accessory to first-degree murder. The earnest work of our responding officers during the initial disappearance report gave our investigative teams the ability to uncover these egregious crimes. Thank you to the LPD and LSO investigators for their tireless efforts on this case. I also want to thank Lancaster County Sheriff's Office for their coordination during the last several months, which resulted in the pending arrest of Joseph Barraza and Rachel Pogler. The efforts of this team provided the ability to seek answers and justice for the Schaaf family and other victims in this case. With that, I'll take questions that you may have, but I will tell you at this time, we will not be able to answer many of your questions. And County Attorney Condon is here as well. Terry Wagner is also present, so.
Do you have any idea how Carly knew these people and what their relationship was like?
I don't have that at this time.
Can you just clarify when Barraza was arrested, or when he will be arrested, and when the search took place?
He's in custody on the previous case, and that was in, I believe, June 4th, and that will happen in the coming days.
So he had been incarcerated just right after her death, or after Carly's death?
After the search warrant that was conducted on the separate case, he was placed in custody from that case.
Are you able to spell those names for us?
Yes. Which one do you want?
Obviously, no Carly Schaaf is just...
Barraza, B-A-R-R-A-Z-A. And then Pogler, Pagler.
Have you been able to identify and locate the other two victims, sexual assault victims?
We have,
And they're both alive, you're not?
yes.
Could you go over the charges again?
Did you want to answer that?
Mr. Barraza has been charged with murder, kidnapping, and 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault. The murder and kidnapping are 1A felonies, so they carry a penalty of life imprisonment. And the first-degree sexual assaults are Class 2 felonies. They carry 1 to 50 years imprisonment, sex offender registration, and lifetime supervision. Ms. Pagler has been charged with, excuse me, I'll take that down. Ms. Pagler has been charged with kidnapping, the 1A felony, so a life sentence, and also with accessory to the felony murder.
And what was Ms. Pogler's first name?
Rachel?
Rachel, and it's P-O-S-L-E, right?
Pagler.
Oh, P-A-G-E.
Yeah.
So this couple has been on radar since June. Just what has happened between then and now to lead up to these arrests?
A lot of investigative work. I mean, you know, the work that's being done by our investigators, and many of them are in the hallway, it's tireless. They have to go through all the evidence in order to get to that finding where we can work with the county attorney to actually file these charges. So between then and now, we've done a lot of work having to do with this case.
What was it that led you guys to them initially?
I can't answer that right now.
We know Carly Schaaf's death, and her death certificate said she had 2 different drugs, one allergy medicine and one meth, and she was suffocated. Do we know how that occurred yet, or are you not able to answer that?
We can't answer that at this time.
Can you reveal the location where she died?
Not at this time. I mean, I'm sure all of you can understand that it is complicated. I mean, any of these investigations, especially with, you know, her being missing and then piecing together a timeline is really difficult. But getting all these other details is even, it's a lot of time, a lot of work by our investigators.
Same with do you have the exact date of her death yet, or the approximate date?
We have the approximate date. Can we give that or no?
Yeah, there's been an affidavit filed. We did file a complaint today, and affidavit and a warrant for their arrest. So that is in the court filings as we speak. So some of that information is contained therein, so I would just direct you to that.
What is the date?
You know, I'll just direct you to that, and you can review that information. And just to give you a little idea of what, you know, kind of the process going forward, the warrant that we filed today, they are both being held on federal charges. So this warrant that we filed today will act as a detainer. So once they're completed with their federal matters, then they'll be brought here for these charges.
I know you said you couldn't describe the relationship, but did she know these people beforehand?
I would say yes.
Was this a targeted attack or something random? Are you able to-
Can't answer that right now.
Do we know if she was dumped at the lake, or was that around where she was killed?
Can't answer that right now.
Do you know when the preliminary hearing will be for both of them?
In all likelihood, I mean, once the federal matter is completed, that may take some time yet to get that completed, and then once that's completed and they're brought here, then we'll be looking to begin doing things like setting preliminary hearings, so.
Is there anybody else that you believe could be involved in this?
At this time, no. Any other questions? I would ask that if anybody has any information, to give us a call, either at 402-441-6000 or Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600.
Do we have a mugshot for the two
I'll
people?
get that out to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, everybody,
right.
thank you for coming.
Thank you.